Hello. In a second, I'm going to get out of my car and go grocery shopping. I promise. But I felt compelled to make this video. It's tugging on my heart, not only because of me and my old, sometimes those old thought patterns try to creep back up and you be like, nah, get up out of here. I don't even try to suppress it no more. I think what I need to think, and then I tell myself the adverse, like, yeah, that's not for you because of whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And I really talk it out with myself so that I won't go back to old ways because it's no longer serving me. So this video is going to be about drug dealers, hood dudes, street, you fill in the blank. Okay? It's no good, baby. Just don't do it. I'll tell you why. So number one, it is taxing mentally, okay? If you are aware of where this person is going every day, what kind of lifestyle they live, and this is genuinely someone you care about, you are going to be absolutely mortified when they leave the house, terrified even, right? It'll be like embarrassing. It'll be scary. It'll be because you have no idea what he's really getting himself into and what kind of people he's exposing himself to. And I know some people are like, oh, well, they can keep the lives separate. Well, yeah, to a certain extent, but it always creeps back into family. It always creeps back into your home life. You know why? Because he's surrounding himself with those kind of spirits and he's bringing that back. So whatever stress he's facing out there in the world, he gonna bring that back home. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the women. Okay, women like men with money and they like men with power, with stature. So if your boyfriend sells drugs or he touch a different type of money in the streets, 9 times out of 10 people know about that. Like, it's only but so low key that you can be when you're really getting money. Okay, that's just the reality. It's just like how a lot of celebrities are like, oh, I wanted the money but I didn't want the fame. Like, it's right, they're neck and neck. One is right behind the other. You get famous, most of the time you get some money. You get some money, most of the time you get famous. So it's like, unless you're doing something underground, people are going to know about it. So with that being said, women like that and they gravitate towards that. And a lot of women, especially women with low self-esteem, those are the type of guys that they're quick to go after because they feel like these men are easily accessible. This is who I can get. So I caution you as well when you're thinking about yourself and like maybe some old ways you used to have. Sometimes either we date those men because that's who's around, or we date those men because we don't feel like we can do any better. And it's not to say that these men don't have good characters. Like, I've met some really good men, some sweet guys who just went down that path because that's literally all they knew. But it's still no good. And they will have groupies. Believe that. So he would have to have a lot of self-control. The third thing, it is extremely painful for your man to get locked up. Like, I went through that. And at the time, from what he told me anyway, when I met him, he told me that he was done with that life. Like, this is something I used to do. I'm still on probation for this, blah, blah, blah. And like I told you guys before, because he's a black man and I understand that they are disproportionately targeted, I didn't want to judge him. So I'm like, I mean, it is what it is. Mistakes happen. As long as you don't make any excuses for how you gonna get this money and pay these bills and make sure I'm good, I'm cool, But then he had a probation violation. So at this point, we were about to break up anyway because of some other stuff going on in our relationship. Like, he was just doing way too much. Didn't have anything to do with infidelity or any other women. It was just some character flaws, right? So I believe it was 3 days after I broke up with him, because of his attitude once again. I hadn't heard from him. I'm not getting choked up, my voice. It's cranberry juice. So I believe it was 3 days later, I hadn't heard from him, because normally, like, we talk every day. So I'm like, okay, so he trying to be funny now because, you know, we broke up. That's how I used to think. Oh, he trying to be funny now because we broke up. Okay, cool, it is what it is. So I didn't think anything of it. But then his mother calls me on day 3, and she's like, hey, Elroy, I'm just gonna call him Elroy for the sake of this video. Elroy has been trying to contact you, and she's like, he's in jail. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, he's where? What did he get locked up? Like, when I say I was so shocked and confused. So this man ends up locked up for months, and biologically, like, I couldn't handle it, like, because I saw him every single day. And in addition to that, when I moved back to my hometown to go to nail school, he was supposed to be helping me. So, like, he helped me with my deposit for nail school so I could get in. Didn't want to because he didn't want me to move. But he helped me with my deposit or whatever. I told him this is something that I wanted to add to my business because this is something that he helped invest in. I promise it wasn't dinero de a drogas. No, none of that. And I'm like, babe, I just think this will be great for me, you know. But that was really my exit strategy out of the relationship, low key. So he was supposed to be helping me because while I'm doing my program, like, I can't work, you know, so I need you to pay my car payment. And so he agreed. But then when he left, it was like there was no possible way for me to pay that because now he's in jail. So I was scared because it put me in a very difficult financial situation. And so this is why I always say, regardless of, you know, having a provider, that's wonderful, but make sure that you have your own safety net, you know, your own nest egg, that your business, if you own a business, that it's flourishing and it's to the point where you can handle things if your husband or your boyfriend is not there, because things happen, right? And this is another reason why I push for just having life insurance, because some people don't have it. And the reality is, when your spouse is gone or when your boyfriend is gone, you know, by reasons completely outside of both of your control, that leaves you in a bad position. And I would have felt even worse if there were children in the mix. So just imagine that for a second. I could barely eat. I was extremely stressed out. I was tired. Like, I could still sleep, but I was losing weight, bro. Like, I was little, all jokes aside. And my mom, she made this joke. She's like, hey, your head's too big for you to be losing weight like that. And I'm like, Mom, chill, bro. Like, y'all have no idea. I didn't even tell my family. I was so embarrassed. I'm like, I can't tell my family that my boyfriend's in jail. Like, what are they going to think about me? You know, so that was stressful. So number 4, he could die. And I don't know if you guys know anything about insurance, but when they screen you for insurance, part of the health portion that they check for has to do with the risk of insuring you. So if he lives a life of fast money and it's on record that this is what he does, they can deny him for insurance because it makes him look like a high-risk person to insure. Like, oh, he could die any day now, we can't insure him. So that leaves you very limited. Even if you were to marry this man, it leaves your options very limited. And so if you do live that life, I would encourage you to find some investments. But even with that, that can be risky because you're using his money. So if any, you know, entity found out, everything could be frozen and snatched, and that's just what it is. But I love you guys. I hope that this video helped you. I'm not trying to make it go past 10 minutes, and I need to go grocery shopping. But ask me any questions you'd like. Thank you.